Big game for me personally, and big game for America, honestly. Colorado at number 23, UCLA. Now, we talked about putting this on the rundown, but I love me talking about some Coach Prime. And it's usually a segment that y'all want to hear me talk about because I watch the views and I watch the retweets and the reposts and all those sorts of things. UCLA is favored by 17.5. It didn't matter, right? Because even being 4-3, ABC is going to have this be their primetime game on Saturday night. Why? Because America wants to see it. This is going to be the 7th national television game for Colorado this season. They're going to get to 8 next week when they play Oregon State on ESPN, which means that they already played on they will have played on national TV as many times as they did during the 1990 season when they won the national championship, and Eric Bieniemy, I believe, finished 4th in the Heisman voting. Now, I think you care about TV ratings. I think you care about viewership, and I think that your mama is asking you about what Coach Prime is doing, even though she doesn't ask you about college football at all. Between Prime and Taylor Swift, those are the football questions that most of America wants to talk about, okay? That's why I'm interested in this game. But on a football field, this is also an opportunity for Colorado to show what kind of backbone that they have. Before I get into that, I also want to get one more point in here about national television. When you land a top 100 quarterback who is 6'5", 215 pounds, Antoine Hill Jr., for the 2025 class, it's because you're playing on national TV. Colorado has blue chip dudes now wanting to come to Colorado. That's not a thing we get to say, okay? It matters that you're playing in front of the largest audiences that are possible, and most of the top 10 most viewed games this season have had Colorado in them. So I think there are going to be other folks that want to join up with Antoine Hill, and that's a dude that could absolutely sling it. 3,663 yards passing, 40 TDs to 3 INTs in 2022. All right. Now, to the football that's going to be played on the field against UCLA. Last time that Colorado played a top 25 opponent on the road, Oregon handed them their head. Okay? That game was not close, and it didn't look close from the start. Shedeur Sanders running for his life. Also did not have Travis Hunter for that game, right? Which a couple weeks ago, I would have said is a big deal. Not so, because Travis Hunter was there for Stanford and the Cardinal, and he played well until Alec Ian Manor decided to make him his mission. Last time we saw Travis Hunter play football, he gave up 13 catches. He gave up 294 yards along with that defense. Now, that defense is also dead last in yards allowed per game at 473. Good Lord. The idea that you've even won 4 games with a defense that's dead last in yardage is in it of itself a feat. But what's Travis Hunter going to do against UCLA and possibly Ethan Garbers, who looked good right against Stanford last week? Common opponent, UCLA, showed Stanford the door. Now, Travis Hunter has gone 2 ways, 29 passes, 353 yards receiving, and then 14 tackles and a pick through, basically 3 games, right? 2 TDs. However, we asked this question after the Stanford loss. Is he playing too much? I don't think so, because he looks fine. Short of that lacerated liver that he suffered, I mean, his wind is there. And it seems that Charles Kelly wants him on the defense and Sean Lewis wants him on the offense, and Prime is ready to let that dude play as much as he needs. So that's one question I have, is what Travis Hunter do we see? Do we see the guy that was giving up big yards to Alec Ian Manor, right? Because I think J. Michael Studevant is absolutely capable of doing what Alec Ian Manor did, right? Wide receiver for UCLA. I'm also wondering, what is Shedeur Sanders going to do? Because the last time we saw him play football, he led the FBS in passing yards through 7 games during the season. But he also has been sacked so many times. But his star still resonates. The reason I know this is the Sunday night primetime game, which is the most watched television show on earth, Sunday Night Football. I saw Jalen Ramsey throw the Shedeur at a fan to tell the fan to step off. That dude's just resonating. Like, cool people believe Shedeur Sanders is cool. Devontae Adams throwing the Shedeur, right? What does he show? I mean, I think he's going to show what he's been showing all year, which is that he's a great quarterback, but he's going to need help. And I don't just mean from Travis Hunter and Xavier Weaver and Jimmy Horn. I mean, they're going to need to run the damn football, right? I need to see Alton McCaskill find his feet, right? I need to see Dylan Edwards get back to playing the kind of ball that he's playing against Texas Christian. That's the caliber of Colorado that I expect to see against UCLA, the one that showed up against Texas Christian. Now, if that's a 45-42 win, that's a game that you expect Colorado to win, right? But if you can't get on the board consistently and you put it on that defense's shoulders, chances are it ain't going to go the way it did against Arizona State, where you get to trot Alejandro Mata on to win you the football game, okay? Prime has said he expects a much different Colorado team against UCLA, and he's much different, grew out the beard, during the bye weeks, a couple of weeks. He looks rejuvenated. I hope that the team is too. Now, I think Colorado can win this game if they play perfect football offensively and great football defensively. Now, they can't penalize themselves. That's the last point to raise here. Colorado's been penalized 69 times this year. That's the most in the FBS, and they had 17 penalties for 127 yards, right? Against Stanford, those are season highs. That's how you blow a 29-0 halftime lead, guys. That's how you lose this game in overtime. It's not just Alec Iron Manor absolutely going full Megatron on you. It's also you're hurting yourself. If Colorado can get out of its own way, they stand a chance of upsetting UCLA and getting one win closer to being bowl eligible, which a couple weeks ago we thought, yeah, they're going to do that. Now, it's tough the rest of the way with teams that they got to play. So in that game, I think I'm going to pick UCLA because that's, not a wild take. I'm not out here saying that Caleb Williams should be sitting the rest of the season. It's one that, y'all can appreciate and understand because UCLA has demonstrated itself to be a really good football team. And I've had UCLA ranked all year, even when the AP has not. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to watch it. You're going to watch it. We're going to talk about the aftermath of that game on the Sunday AP Rankings reaction show, which, we'll talk about who did what and why, but look for us to talk about that game. If you like what you've seen, consider subscribing to the #1 college football show on YouTube, the Fox Sports app, or wherever you get your podcast.